pie chart is another widget that's available in the custom dashboarding solution. So once again, open it up, go to pie chart and drag it in. Pie charts are really powerful for visualizing the share of different things that different values have. Really great for visualizing, for example, data usage volumes, or so for example, you can see how much of your data usage is spans, metrics, and logs. Essentially, it's a grouping function to show you the different proportions compared to other values. So really powerful. You can see some really cool details already. So you've got this ability here to filter out different values from your pie chart. You get that really nice animation to show the pie chart changing. This is completely unique to the pie chart, by the way. So name, description, and so on. Pie charts are always grouped. So whether it's logs, metrics, or spans, they are always grouped in some way. So if we have logs, for example, I can group by whatever. There has to be some kind of grouping. I can pick computer, for example, and I can see it's grouped by server there. I'll get rid of group and put application in there again. We have application, we can pick subsystem, we can pick whatever we want. Now, there's some really nice features here. For example, the count. As with other counts, as with other aggregations, some in max and average, you're going to have to select a field from a log in order to do these particular calculations. Also do count distinct and average. We'll just stick to count again to keep things simple. Now the pie chart has a nice feature, which is stacking. So what stacking allows you to do is to visualize, so for example, this is the front end share in green here. You can actually visualize another value share of front end. I'll give you an example. Let's take computer. So now I have a visualization of the front end application in green. I sit inside there and I can see 1.97 million logs, 47.34% of the entire pie chart. If I hover over this segment here, I'll see that of those front end logs, half of them, or like a quarter of the overall, has come from this particular server, and another just less than a quarter have come from here. And what this allows you to do is visualize the share of a share, essentially. Really powerful. And this works for all the different ones as well. So you can see here, for example, the ad service and then the actual server there. So this is really nice if, for example, you've got an application that's running across multiple different nodes and you want to make sure that traffic is being served equally from those three nodes. So you can have you can first group by the actual application itself and then break down further by the servers as well. And that's a really nice, powerful feature that the pie chart offers there. So you can see here that you can also name your stack as well. So you can give it whatever you want. I'll call it server just to make the point. And then when you hover over here, you'll just see server, and so on. And you can actually input the value itself. So if I do this, like that, and I hover over here, you can see server and then the actual name of the computer as well. So it's templatable. Max slices per stack. So if I bring that down, has to be at least 2. I think in this particular visualization there's only 2, but let's say, for example, there were 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 servers, then I can limit that to only show the largest ones. So that's logs. You have some advanced functionality as well, max slices and chart, max percentage slices, min percentage slices display, and so on and so forth. So for example, you can see this other is 3.42. Now I could say actually only display if there's 4, and then the chart actually recalibrates itself so it's all grouped together. So that other gets bigger because different ones are being conglomerated together. You can set the unit, you can set the max slices per chart. You can actually say, okay, I only want to see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. You can show the label based on the group by the stack. So for example, if we have stack here, you can see that this is actually now the label for the stack, the actual server for that particular application, not the group by, which is the application itself. Bunch of different options here around showing legend and so on. So a bunch of different features there. Now with metrics, it's slightly different. So you'll notice stacking is still available and so on. However, you'll notice I can't really drag anything in here. So what I can do is actually go down to here. I can see sum up by job. Now if I pick, for example, average DB statement latency, and then I'll go by, we'll do DBMS, a label I know exists. We can see the average statement latency for different DBMSs here. We can see the rest of them are kind of 7.75K, and DynamoDB is 128,000. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to visualize the metrics. So note here that the metrics here are actually really all about or what drive the dashboard here. So if you want to add a grouping, you would add a grouping in PromQL there. You can add stacking as well, of course. Finally, spans. Spans are very, very similar to logs in the way that they can be visualized. So you have spans, so you can see it even looks kind of the same. You have a count. You can stack by different values here. So, for example, the HTTP host will show you the different values that are available there, and so on and so forth. So this is just really nice way of visualizing what you've got here. So this is the pie chart. So to recap quickly, the pie chart, like all of the widgets, logs, metrics, spans, you can group every single like pie chart widget has to have a grouping. Those groupings are defined differently for logs in the UI, for metrics in the PromQL query, for spans it's in the UI as well. And pie charts have this really powerful stacking ability, which allows you to slice up each individual part of a pie chart to show a different share. And a really nice use case for that is applications deployed across multiple nodes, so you can see the share of, for example, logs coming from different nodes. And of course, colors can be set, units can be set, the number of minimum, maximum number of slices can be set, and so on. So it's just a really nice way of visualizing the most important parts of the pie chart functionality. Pie charts are actually really nice. They're a bit like gauges. They offer just a really powerful at-a-glance insight, and you kind of normalize on what a normal pie chart looks like. And so whenever you see something different, that alerts you that something maybe is wrong. So that's pie charts. And next, we're going to take a look at the more complicated widget, which is the bar chart.